गुड इवनिंग डॉक्टर पराग भाई.
गुड इवनिंग जितेंद्र, बोलिए.
Dr. Parag is obstetrician and gynecologist in Pune, practicing for last 28 years. And everybody knows he is the secretary of ICOG and distributing ICOG credit points very liberally nowadays. And all societies must have come in touch of Dr. Parag. He is going to be president of Pune Obstetric and Gynecological Society in very near future, and also in very near future he is going to contest for President Foxy. So welcome, Dr. Parag.
Thank you, Dr. Jitendra. But we are talking about future plans. But let's stick to something which is so disturbing for all practitioners. Jitendra, all of us have read in the newspaper about one news from Delhi, where the consent forms of a hospital in Delhi were challenged by the National Consumer Forum. They have said that this is an unfair trade practice, which is a very, very commercial word, I should say. And the printed forms which all the hospitals are using for years are challenged. So how do we deal with this situation? How, as an organization of OBGYNs, how should we handle this?
Sir, it is a hot discussion going on all WhatsApp group and all Facebook groups. So a very important point I will like to touch that particularly this is I can say a arbitrary decision, and it is not cannot be considered a good decision on the part of National Commission. Let us see what is the decision. So in this decision, it is said that a pre-printed consent form, so which is considered as informed consent. Okay, so pre-informed consent come undertaking having blank spaces for limited selective entries which are handwritten, and there is a space left for the signature of patient and their relative. So the main body of form is such that it can be completed by putting the name of doctor, by putting name of patient, and by putting name of operation. So that is they said that there is a common consent form people are using. So the objection is that you cannot use pre-printed uniform common consent. So that means they want to say that you are supposed to use now procedure specific consent. Now second point here is that pre-printed consent cannot be used. That is interpreted by many of our colleagues. But it cannot be like that, because every consent, even provided in different acts, suppose MTP Act provides Form C, PCPNDT Act provides Form F and Form G, and different kinds of forms in ICMR guideline from Form D to Form L. Everything has spaces in between to be filled by handwritten thing by the doctor. So that can never be objected. All the forms available in government sector also, even in court also, the common printed, pre-printed forms are allowed, where there are blanks which are usually filled, and it is submitted in the court also. So first of all, this kind of judgment is cannot be considered a proper judgment. Second thing, the tragedy in this judgment is that in whole case, the court has said, the National Commission has said that there is no negligence on the part of doctor. There is no negligence even in taking consent, and proper informed consent is taken. That means there is no objection of consent. And even patient has not raised any objection regarding consent. So when there is no negligence, how can it be considered unfair trade practice? So that is the question. So unfair trade practice, if there is deficiency of service, if there is negligence on the part of the opposite party, only then it can be said that it is a unfair trade practice. So it is casually written in the judgment that as per the violation of 2(1)R, Section 2(1)R of Consumer Protection Act 1986, it is unfair trade practice. But looking to the details of 2(1)R, I don't find any violation of 2(1)R. in this particular.
Okay.
So there is not a single word regarding that such decision can be done given by any commission. Now the main part in decision is that what I can say that main thing is that in Samira Kohli's judgment, Samira Kohli versus Dr. Prabha Manchanda, when we go to that judgment, the Supreme Court 3-judge bench has given the decision that consent is a contract.
Right.
And in India, we follow real and valid consent, not the informed consent. So here it is mentioned that informed consent. So first of all, this National Commission even does not know, that is coming out from the decision, that they don't know whether we are following real and valid consent or informed consent. So
right.
First of all, there is a need to clear themselves. We are following real and valid consent. And according to Supreme Court, every consent is a contract in between patient and doctor.
Correct.
And patient and doctor both are supposed to sign the consent paper, and 2 witnesses should sign. Now, when any competent party signs a contract, okay, means suppose somebody is above 18 years of age with sane mind and having complete knowledge regarding the operation or the treatment, later on after signing, they cannot deny.
Right.
Okay, so that is not allowed. Now in judgment, they have used the word that this kind of blank consent or blank spaces given in consent paper, which can be later on filled by handwriting or affixing signature, that amounts to arbitrariness. So this kind of interpretation is wrong, because it cannot be considered arbitrariness, because when you do some contract, all parties sign. After application of mind, all parties sign, and they cannot refuse that they have not understood and signed. So some sane person with proper frame of mind who is competent to sign, if sign somewhere, it is presumption in law that he has understood and signed, unless or until it is proved otherwise. Now another word used here is that this will be considered as one-sided high-handedness. Now, how can it be considered high-handedness? Because, say, it is a contract. Whenever some party do contract, okay, it is an individual right to get one copy of that contract. Okay. So, if patient gets one copy of that contract, means consent, if they demand, then later on, nobody can delete or add anything in the consent paper.
Yes.
And if somebody do that, that amounts to criminal prosecution under section 468. So that amounts to forgery. So sections are already there. So if we consider consent as a contract, then no change can be done in any consent, one-sidedness. So it cannot be considered that it is a one-sided high-handedness. Okay. So the basic thing is that overall the judgment is absolutely wrong as far as our interpretation is concerned. Moreover, on one side, court says that doctor is not negligent, consent is properly taken, and on other side, in the same judgment on the second line, they say that the consents are unfair trade practice. Pre-printed consent should be considered unfair. So this is unfair as far as our understanding is concerned. There are more than 20 legal points we can discuss in this case, and we can challenge this judgment. So judgment came on 6th July 2020. So let us wait that RGU Stone Hospital, against whom that decision has come, whether they go into appeal in next 30 days. So if they go into appeal in next 30 days, then we should assist them, or we should join them as an intervening party if possible. And if they don't go in appeal, then we should go as an individual party and file a special leave petition against this judgment. Somebody was saying a few days back on one of the video conference that this is not a ratio decidendi, this is obiter dicta. See, whenever any judgment comes from the National Commission, it is always a guideline to the State Commission and District Commission, And
Right.
in future cases, they have to follow the guidelines given by National Commission. So saying that it is not a ratio decidendi, it is obiter dicta is not correct according to me. So as far as my view is concerned, we must challenge such kind of decision given by any court. And this judgment is given by the presiding officer. Now, actually, where the question of law is in question, then ideally the president of the sitting bench should give opinion or should opine the question of law. According to J.J. Merchant case, it was said that presiding of the president of the bench, National Commission, is always a retired judge of Supreme Court. So, if here in this bench, the president was not there, and this judgment was given by two members who were not qualified, or we can say who are not retired judges from Supreme Court. So they cannot decide the question of law, that what particular consent is to be considered legal or not. So I think they are not, although as per Act there is provision that in absence of president they can give decision, but again this is to be challenged, and this also needs the clarification. There are multiple things which can be challenged in this decision, and this decision only say one thing, that nowadays you should take procedure specific consent. So I think that if that is the ultimate goal of saying these many things by the sitting member, then it is correct that now in the era of this evidence-based practice, you should take elaborative consent, and that consent should be exhaustive one. So it should not be a single page consent with limited spaces to be filled later on. So we should go for procedure specific consent. And nowadays, so many websites and books are available where you will get easily the procedure specific consent. But saying that it is a arbitrariness or high-handedness on one part, these all things are absolutely not correct according to the legal interpretation from as far as our view is concerned.
Right. So thank you very much, Gitendra. It was such a relief after talking to you, because when you read something like this in the newspaper, it is really scary, especially in this era where we are already harassed by the COVID situation, and when we are really worried about the medico-legal scenario. So thank you once again, and best wishes to you for your venture. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Actually, the motto of my entering into Foxy is that I want to make everybody fear-free, to do fear-free practice. So if you will definitely follow the procedure-specific consent, you have nothing to fear, and you can do fear-free practice. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
For giving me the time, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, bye. Okay.